What do you say, friends? It is I, your humble narrator, checking back in with you, letting you know a little bit about what's going on with me lately. For a while now, since the end of 2021, I noticed that my vision wasn't quite what it should be. And initially, I thought it was just age, everything I'd been through with my horrible reaction to the cancer treatments, and sought out a optometrist to get my prescription updated, which I did in June, I think, May or June of this year, 2022, and still wasn't as crisp as it should be. So I went back to the optometrist. They changed my prescription, sent me on my way, and yet it still wasn't quite right. So I go back to the optometrist, and she tells me that I've got a condition known as dry eye, which she prescribed some over-the-counter eye drops for that. Come back 2 months later, and still wasn't any better. So she prescribed some prescription eye drops that required her to get a pre-authorization from my insurance company, which is not a big deal. My wife actually does medical insurance billing, so it's not a big deal at all. Something she could have taken care of with a phone call. But that drug on for a month, and she still wouldn't get the prescription through. So I finally decided, with my wife's loving urging, to see an ophthalmologist, a medical doctor more advanced in the field of eye care. And this ophthalmologist instantly told me that I had, well, not instantly, after a number of exams and some in-depth microscopic looks at my eyes, forget the exact terminology, but anyway, she told me that I had third world thickness cataracts, and it would likely have been dealing with this for at least a year for them to get this bad. She said she was surprised she could see as well as I could, and that I wasn't in more pain. The cataracts on my eyes were that thick. And she told me that, my vision would continue to deteriorate and I would need to get them extracted. So she didn't do that operation herself. So I got in touch with another ophthalmologist who does that surgery, who confirmed that, yes, I had horrible cataracts in both eyes. My right eye was the worst, and that I would need to get them taken out very soon. So on the 19th of December, I had to glance at the calendar. On the 19th of December, I went through a surgery, outpatient surgery, to remove the cataract from my right eye and implant a artificial lens. Oh, yes, in addition to the cataracts, I had severe uveitis, which is swelling, inflammation in your eye, to the degree that my lens and pupil and the things that move within your eye were sticking together in both of my eyes. The ophthalmologist could not dilate my eyes for that particular eye exam. They did the dilation eye drops, which had zero effect on my eyes because internally everything was sticking together, which was kind of scary. So she gave me a litany of prescription eye drops to combat that situation, and was aghast that the optometrist that I had been seeing did not detect these cataracts. So that all aside, so I've got an artificial lens in my right eye now. Woo! And I see much better. I've noticed even the next day it was 20/30 in my right eye, and it's gotten better since then. I go back next week for my follow-up, and then on the 9th of December, the 9th of January, the day after Elvis's birthday, for those of you keeping score at home, on the 9th of January, they're going to do the same surgery on my left eye and get another artificial lens in my eye. I've decided to go with, there's a couple options you have, and my options were limited because of the situation, the astigmatism in my eyes, and just exact situation going on with my eyes. I could either choose to continue to be nearsighted or change it to being farsighted, which means I will no longer need eyeglasses to see things. It seems as if the focal point is about 4 or 5 feet. You know, the television captions on the TV, I can now read clearly with my right eye. I can see across the street and I can see across the room, but I will need glasses to read with, which I don't mind. I read a lot, so the act of putting on glasses to read with makes that act of reading very intentional, and I don't mind that. These are some reading glasses that were prescribed to me by the optometrist that I had been seeing that couldn't detect the cataracts in my eyes, which are now worthless. I'm hoping to reuse the frames, but in any event, that's what's been going on with me. The struggle here lately has been with my eyesight. So I would appreciate your prayers and well wishes for that upcoming surgery and for continued healing for my right eye. I have been working on a PhD in biblical studies, and those classes are set to resume on the 16th of January. So I'm going to need to get back into some a lot of reading beginning on the 16th. I need to confer with my eye doctor and see how quickly I should throw myself into that, so to speak. There's a couple options I have with courses. I don't want to not take any coursework, so I could take another language course, which wouldn't be as much reading, but that would prolong the completion date of stage 2 of the program that I'm in. They break it up into 3 stages, and I had just completed stage 1, so we'll be going into stage 2, which is the meat of the coursework of this program, and then stage 3 is the dissertation writing. So I was hoping to really continue moving forward with stage 2, but we'll see what the eye doctor says, and we'll see how fast things heal. So I would appreciate your prayers for quick healing for my upcoming eye surgery and continued healing for the eye that they've worked on. Other than that, I go back to see my oncologist. I've got a series of scans the middle of January, and I see my oncologist at the end of January. He's asking for a restaging of the cancer with these upcoming scans, meaning that he thinks the tumors have shrunk to a degree that it might not be stage 4 cancer anymore. So that's a big deal. I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully that will prove to be the case. And it's been all but, by the grace of God in my own body, fighting off the cancer, which was jump-started with the immunotherapy. For those of you that don't know, I had 2 rounds of immunotherapy in January and February of 2021 and had a horrible reaction. The rare but known side effect of the rapid onset of partial paralysis. I spent nearly the month of March in the hospital and in a rehab facility learning how to walk and everything again, but it made a nearly complete recovery. Still got some neuropathy, some numbness in my feet, and a very little bit in my hands. So considering where I was, it's been a great recovery from that, and I appreciate everybody who's been along on that part of the journey and been praying for me for all of that. So praise God that healing will continue, as well as with my eyesight. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to email me as always. And I would thank each of you for your continued prayers and well wishes. And as always, thanks for coming along on the journey.